Okay, hello everybody, and welcome to another video. Today we are in the Cloister of Trials at Kilika. Some horrible lady, lovely Donna, wearing very slutty clothes, decided she'd take her muscle man and throw us in here. So that's the game's excuse for why we're here. We are not a guardian. Once again, we are not allowed to be here, but the platform will not go back up, so whatever. The music you can hear in the background is known as like the Cloister of Trials music. It's actually, I don't believe, been touched up for this version of the game, but I could be wrong about that. So yeah, I just took a quick break between recording this and the previous episode just to freshen up a bit. So right, what are we doing? Well, we originally got a Kilika sphere. Remember in the last temple there were Besaid spheres? They're now Kilika spheres. So we got one out of this pedestal. We can't really push the pedestal or do anything with it as far as I'm aware. Or right now, and when we put it in the door, it just created this horrible fire here. So presumably touching this fire, this would be bad, right, for anyone, but you can't really die in this game in the other world, so it's totally fine. This one, however, we can now, if we take the sphere back out, it'll put the fire out and the door's gone. So yay, it's kind of this double thing. It's like the secret for the destruction sphere in the first one was place sphere in, opens door, and the secret is, hey, you can get that sphere back. In this one, it's required to get the sphere back, so pretty interesting. Anyway, so yeah, this pedestal we actually can't do anything with, so we're going to pick it back up. Now, I will make a note here. I have not done this Cloister of Trials for maybe about a month. Like my test file was now about a month ago that I was actually playing it. So, who's up for some fun times while I figure it out on camera? Really, they're not that difficult. It's just, hey, place lots of stuff in lots of holes. And if you remember, like, the general gimmick or quirk to whatever it was, for, like, the destruction sphere, you'll probably be fine. So anyway, by placing that in there, it actually created a glyph. Now, we're not going to place that. Let's touch the... Can we touch the glyph, or do we have to... The glyph repels me, so apparently I need to place the sphere down before I can touch the glyph. That's fine. Okay, and now let's try and touch the glyph. That was a really small cut there. I'm interested whether anyone can actually pick up on it, but basically I was making sure I knew what was going on. So, like referring to my notes, my encyclopedia as I've been calling it, very pretentiously. So we got a sphere here, which I guess we can take out of this wall and see what happens. Well, that's going to put out the fire. That should put out the fire down below. Apparently it didn't, so I'm wrong. I'm wrong about that. By touching this thing here, I don't think I actually demonstrated it to you guys before, but basically with these pedestals, if you find a pedestal in a Cloister of Trials, you might find that you push it in the wrong place. Usually there's one of these pads that you can step on, it flashes the screen white, and it will actually move that pedestal back to its default position. That's what you're first taught in Besaid. After that, however, you're taught that by touching one of these, it can actually move it to a totally new location. So originally it was here, right? Well, now it's in the next room up. And that allows us to now push it around and do stuff. However, it's got a glyph sphere on it, and I'm just curious what happens if I place the glyph sphere in this wall here. Well, there you go. See, it opens the wall up. And I believe not only did it just open that wall up, but it broke the connection on that wire, if you will, thus putting out the fire. And actually, you know, we're right near the end of the cloister. You just walk through there now, and you can put two spheres in the far side, and you're done. But if we look in here, sneakily hidden is actually a destruction sphere. So where might we want to put the destruction sphere? Well, what if we put it on the pedestal? Do we put it on the pedestal? And see where we can push the pedestal around to? Since that's not been something the game's asked us to do yet, right? Well, there's another twist. Remember I just told you what that panel that's flashing on the floor does? Well, what happens if we push the pedestal onto that panel on the floor? What would happen there? Well, see, I'd love to know, except Titus doesn't want to push this thing. So it's really kind of clunky pushing these things around, very sort of Tomb Raider 1-y. But as long as you hold circle and force your character to walk, you'll be okay. But yeah, so what happens now? What is this weird paradoxical thing we've managed to achieve? Apparently nothing. I thought we needed a destruction sphere in there. I guess we can try putting the destruction sphere back, and instead putting a Kilika sphere in there and see what happens then. I believe what it should do is descend it down that platform. See, this is the thing, like, these are kind of puzzles, but also there's no prediction, right? Like, I don't really know what's going to happen when I put a sphere in any recess. It could open a wall, it could destroy something, it could make something spawn, you don't know. And so the actual puzzle element of it, I think, does wear away a bit. The best Cloister of Trials is one later in a place called Macalania. And that Cloister of Trials is good because, at least for the secret as well, there's real rhythm and understanding of how it works. And So there we go. We can take this out now. And this sphere here, we never would have had access to before unless we dropped this whole platform down. We never would have had access to it. So what's it there for? We'll see. Well, look, we've got a glyph sphere we can put, a Kilika sphere we can put in that door there, which is fine. And that burns that down. We could take it out and then walk up the stairs and we're done. But we have just revealed a new sphere recess there, haven't we? Well, one of the last places to try the destruction sphere, assuming the destruction sphere wouldn't do anything at the start of this area, which, I mean, you can make that assumption. What would the destruction sphere do if we put it in here? Ah, well there you go. It blows open the wall. There was some symbology I wish I mentioned in the previous Cloister of Trials. Like, you know how it says, I told you that along the wall it had written all the temples in the game? Well, all those temples lead to sin. It's literally telling you the pilgrimage of the summoner. And then with the destruction sphere, you blow up sin. It's pretty cool. So anyway, there you go. We got a red armlet there. This is some gear for Kimahri. May as well equip it since he doesn't have anything else. This has got Fire Ward, Ice Ward, and Lightning Ward. All of these elements we will take significantly reduced damage from now. Makes Kimahri really quite cool. Kimahri as a blue mage, Kimahri, which is sort of reflected in his sphere grid. Kimahri is someone who can be anywhere on the sphere grid, pick anyone's path. He's a real utility character. And you find a lot of the gear he gets, a lot of the cool things about him is just he fills weird slots. So yeah, really, really awesome. I do have an idea for what I want to do with Kimahri, by the way, on his sphere grid, which I'll talk about later. Alright, so anyway, there you go. That's that cloister done. One thing I will also mention about the cloisters, I'm going to try and refrain from mentioning it constantly, but right at the end of the game, there is a bonus thing, a really significant bonus thing you can only get if you have found every single treasure. So, if you are playing along with me while watching this, make sure you do get those treasures as I do. Don't look at it and be like, I can't be bothered, you know, that gear's not very good because you think it will take too long. Make sure you get the stuff because it will get you something really cool later. Anyway, oh god. Hey guys.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
It was Donna and that big musclehead man.
Yuna will be the one to suffer the consequences.
What consequences?
She could be excommunicated.
Well, that would suck. So there's something really cool I'd like to point out to you guys. Right now we're in the Kilika antechamber, right? Listen to the background. There's like some guy singing, and is that a baritone? Is he singing in a baritone? I don't know, right? But there's some guy singing this song. We've heard this song a lot of times. That song is something called the Hymn of the Fayth. And some really cool trivia about it is a lot of you might not realize, but in all of these antechambers, whenever you find an antechamber in a temple, you're only here for a short period of time. How long? We weren't even able to really walk around in the Besaid one, right? But while you're in these antechambers, you can hear the Fayth singing of this temple. Now, we don't really know what the Fayth is right now, but it's really cool that every single individual temple in this game has its own distinct version of this song. The person singing this right now that we can hear is a different character singing than the character we heard singing it in Besaid. And there's a real story about all these different people who are singing. It's really awesome. There's even like in the game files, someone humming this song. Like at one point we'll hear Tidus humming this song, right? That's not really a spoiler. We'll hear him humming this song at one point, but in the game files, there's the sound of a girl humming the song as well that's never actually used in game. It's called the Hymn of the Fayth. The lyrics to it, there are actual lyrics. It's like, no, bo, no, something, right? It turns out the lyrics are actually a puzzle. It's really well written, okay? First of all, don't forget that this is a Japanese game. So, like, basically the way that the lyrics work is if you wrote the lyrics out in Japanese and then you read them like vertically, so the first word on the top line, then the first word on the second, then the next, like it's like a puzzle, and you can find real lyrics. Mostly it's just nonsense to our ears, but if you wrote it all out and read it down, you would get real lyrics to the Hymn of the Fayth. And I'll tell you what these guys' lyrics are right now. The lyrics are, pray to you Yevon, dream, faith, forever and ever grant us prosperity. Sounds kind of weird to us, right? Some of that is related quite heavily to the story as well. So it's a really, really awesome little thing about this game. And one of the things I was kind of excited to share with you guys because it's easy to miss as a regular player, you know? Anyway, so, Kimahri, how's it going? He just hits us whenever we see him. I'm about to give up on that guy. To give up on that buster.
So what's in there anyway?
The Fayth, remember?
Oh yeah. That thing, right.
The Fayth are people who gave their lives to battle sin. Yevon took their souls, willingly given from their still living bodies.
Huh?
Now they live forever, trapped in statues. But when a summoner beckons, the souls of the Fayth emerge once again. That's what we call an Aeon.
All that in this room? So what's Yuna doing in there?
She prays with all her heart for a way to defeat sin.
So she's literally just praying. So that is one of the best descriptions you're ever going to get of the Fayth in this game as well, by the way, and they're a huge part of the lore. My interpretation of it, my sort of rewording for it, maybe it can sink in a bit better. They're real people, humans, right, in the world, who choose to sacrifice themselves and store their souls inside statues. So behind that door is a statue of a person, right? And it's very artistically done, and it's got all this beautiful embellishment on it. But there is the soul of a person strapped inside that statue. And when the summoner goes in there, they can speak to that soul. That soul, as Lulu just says, emerges. And the soul that's like trapped inside can communicate with her. And that soul is a Fayth. That's what they're called. Fayth are souls of people trapped in statues. And they gain an ability by doing this. By sealing themselves away, they gain an ability to create Aeons. So the summoner visits the temples, visits the Fayth, talks to the Fayth, prays to them, and eventually like communes with them, and earns the ability to summon an Aeon because that Fayth gives it to them. So that's kind of the story. The summoners use Fayth to summon stuff. So yeah, let's speak to Lulu.
The chamber beyond is a sacred place. Only summoners may enter.
What? Even Guardians can't go?
It's taboo.
Oh.
No, they're just waiting out there for fun. I love how she shakes her head there. I love it. I mean, last time Yuna was in there for a day, right?
Just wait.
Just wait, but a day? She's doing Kamari now. Come on, guys. Talk to me. I'm not even trying to go in the door. I'm trying to have a chat. No, I'm giving up.
Just wait.
Alright, fine. Well, most of the time in situations like that, if you try to leave, you no longer have to wait. That animation of her walking out, by the way, weak, they reuse a lot in the game, and it's funny. Like, that slight swagger, that slight sway.
There was something I didn't tell anyone else that day. That song we heard there, in the temple, I knew it from my childhood. It was proof that Spira and Xanarkin were connected. Somehow. At least to me it was. Maybe that's why suddenly, I felt like I just wanted to go home. I tried to say something to tell them, but the words wouldn't come.
Alright, so there we go, guys. Pretty interesting. Titus knows the song too. The Hymn of the Fayth. Connects the whole world somehow over a gap of 1,000 years. Ifrit, this is our new summon. I'm not going to rename him. Ifrit is like a long-term Final Fantasy summon. He has been a summon for a long time. Bosses in some games, he's like a huge character. So here we can have a little bit of an inspection of him. So Valifor was our first. Ifrit has got a little bit less MP, but more health. Largely, he is a stronger character. Now, Valifor's special attack was Sonic Wings, which has delay. I think I showed that to you guys in the LP. Ifrit has Meteor Strike. Now, Meteor Strike's special thing is that it's like a typeless kind of damage, right? It's not a magic attack, it's not a physical attack, it's not an elemental attack. It would sound like maybe a fire attack, but it's just like an attack, for all intents and purposes, bypass many kinds of defense. It's a very rare thing. There aren't many abilities in the game like that. Funny enough, we actually already possess one of those abilities, and that would be Kamari's Lancet. Lancet is also like typeless. So anyway, yeah, that's sort of the deal with Ifrit. His overdrive is Hellfire, and you can see a slight difference in the stats there, but I'm not going to bog us down with numbers too much, which I seem to have been doing, man. I just sort of, I should learn to pace myself. Let's get going. There's some weird monkey lines behind us as well, man. I guess everyone's happy that Yuna managed to get the Aeon. I suppose Donna did too. Been a busy day for that Fayth. And it reminds us of our time in Zanarkand. I told you guys at the start, I said.
I thought I had put my feelings for Zanarkand behind me.
It's weird, because in that flashback, he's playing with a crowd more than we did when we...
But they were there, and they grew inside me bigger and bigger, till I was just about ready to burst.
Are you okay?
I don't know.
What do you want to do?
To scream real loud.
I love Wakka's reaction there, like, woo! Oh, it's so good. We could go up and speak to some guys about some different dialogue. I'm actually not gonna bother with that, though. I don't really see the point in it. Let's just have a bit of a walk back through the jungle. And the goal now is to go back to Kilika, maybe help people out in the village a little bit, I guess. And eventually catch a boat to Luca, right? I mean, we're done. We prayed for victory. Oh, that's amazing. I never realised Tidus did that. I never realised he actually shouted in his next battle. So, should I demonstrate to you lovely chaps? You see how we're overkilling on regular attacks now? That means we're probably spending here for a little bit too long. Well, let's summon Ifrit. Let's have a look at what our new summon's like. And you've got to take time to do this, okay? Really, how easy would it be to end the fight here just by hitting it with Wakka? But you've got to take time to do it if you want to see everything, if you want to show stuff off, because... I mean, the game's easy enough without the Aeons, and you don't want to miss out.
Will you help us?
Yeah, I'm sure he will. So this is Ifrit. If we check out his black magic, we'll see he only has fire unlock. That is because he is of the fire element, and interestingly enough, we actually absorb fire. So Ifrit can heal himself. By casting fire on himself, he can buff his health back up. This is an advantage he has over Valifor, who cannot do that. He also has white magic available. He has Null Blaze, which would make him immune to any fire attacks coming in on him, and Null Frost, which would make him immune to any frost attacks. Null Frost is in particular very strong because we absorb fire damage, but we also take significantly higher ice damage coming in. Elements are opposed, right? So he's got this to sort of counter that weakness of his. So he's got regular attack and meteor strike. This is the typeless thing I was talking about. We'll use it here, just demonstrate it to you guys. Pretty crazy stuff, and obviously it's going to blow the poor wasp up straight away. But that's Ifrit for you. Very cool. And like I say, he's a big recurring character. I'm sure there's years and years worth of trivia you could talk about with him and how he's different in all the different games. Frankly, you know, I've been a fan of this franchise. I don't know whether I've really talked about it. I played a lot of... I completed Final Fantasy 1. I've played a lot of 3. I almost completed 4 when it came out on the DS. But when I was, you know, a bit younger, I really got very much into the PlayStation 1 era Final Fantasy games. I played an awful lot of 7 and 8, a bit of 9 too, and then a bunch of 10, a bunch of 12. So sort of I have a wide net of these games that I've played. It's been a long time since I've really been into the franchise, honestly. You know, I always get an itch to come back to Final Fantasy X, because this was sort of one of my introductory ones for the series. So I always get that itch to come back. And I've probably played this more than the other ones, but right now, you know, I'm a bit out of the loop as far as the other games are concerned. Anyway, let's save. We're done with that. We got a new weapon there for Tidus too, which I may as well equip. It's called Lightning Steel, and this will actually give us Lightning Strike on our weapon. So when we attack, if something's weak to lightning, it will take extra damage. That's actually incredibly useful, just because of the way bosses work in this game and how many are weak to different things. Lightning Strike stuff is crazy good in this game. If you ever get any, I would recommend not selling it, keeping a hold of it, especially on Tidus is great. Because Tidus, as a character, can swim, and most of the things that you find underwater are weak to lightning, right? So, really, really good. If you can get Lightning Strike on Wakka too, who can also swim, you know, he's a Blitzballer. Very nice. Alright, so we got some more dialogue here. Someone named Donna passed through here a while ago. She'll probably be taking the ferry. Great. So, we got to share a ferry with her now, do we? Man, I'll tell you what, I love this game for so many reasons, but one of them is I think they set up the narrative very well. Like, oh, this guy's dialogue's changed as well. He says, "What are you looking at here? I ain't on display, man. Go away." Or is that the same? Maybe it is the same. Okay, I think it's the same. But I think they set up narratively, they do a lot of really, really cool things. And one of the things I like most is as we are on our journey, on our adventure, we meet a lot of characters, and some people come back and some people don't, and it really gives you that feel of a community and familiar faces as you go. It does it very, very well. I enjoy it an awful lot. Yeah, all this dialogue seems to be the same except that one guy, so we're just going to go through. Is Tats got anything different to say? For some reason I can't scout Tats, so I wonder whether that's the real Tats or not. This guy says that sin is a divine punishment upon the people. There is nothing we can do about it. We can only rely upon Yevon's teachings and the summoner to help us through this. Don't remember if I already talked to him. Sorry if I did. But yeah, like, so if I was ever doing a story of my own, which I sort of am at the moment, I don't know. Not anything, you know, just in my free time, like I'm writing concepts in Outer World, I would totally do very similar things. So there's some guys over there, maybe that's Tats, the guy with the saw up there. We can't talk to them or do anything. There's going to be nothing in the room. We got the Albed Primer. I'm pretty sure we are ready to go, guys. There is a shop here. We can sell some stuff, which maybe I would recommend you do because we're going to meet a Waka very soon. And we want to be able to give them some money, right? So let's push ourselves over. What are we going to sell? Alright, I've just equipped Waka with a scout as well. I didn't buy this from the vendor. I just realised it was in our inventory. This has got Ice Strike on it as well as Sensor. So pretty cool. Alright, we're up to 3,500 gil now, so that's going to be plenty of money to fill a Waka's pockets. Let's head on to the boat. Are we ready to embark? I think we are, guys.
Off to Luca at last. The matches start soon as we get there, so rest up on the way, yeah?
There's the Kilika beasts. They're getting on the boat. One little boy just here to say goodbye. A bit different to the Besaid goodbye, right? I mean, these people have already gone through enough. But Luca, man! Oh, it's so good. Riku mentioned Luca so long ago on the salvage ship. Said, you should go to Luca. Finally, we're going to be fulfilling that. There you go. The map comes up. Alright, so what it's done there is just sort of show us where everyone is on the boat. We're down here with all the Blitzball players alone. Another thing I like about this is it really makes you feel like a loner a lot of the times. Like, Titus seriously starts to question his involvement with the group later. There's one particular bit where you get one of those beautiful internal monologues and he's like, I don't know, I felt like I didn't fit in, but then where else did I have to go? So anyway, we're down here. This is a prime time where you want to be thinking about affection stuff too. So yeah, consider that. I don't think I mentioned either. Remember back on Besaid where we said, oh, I like it, where Waka says, do you like Yuna or not? By us actually saying, yeah, we think she's hot, where it actually increased her affection mechanic, even though necessarily she didn't hear us. But whatever, let's just take it one step at a time, shall we? First, we got a cheeky little chest we can buy here. Open up, rather. And a bunch of characters to speak to. You'll notice also that like thing we could kick before is no longer here. This room's obviously way more full. All the Aurochs are here. The Luca goers are there. The Kilika beasts are somewhere on board. We'll chat with these guys. Dato says, tournament's coming up real soon. I wish we had more time to practice, yeah? I just want to sneak up behind them and beat the... I mean, I want to get in their faces and show them what we're made of. So these guys are all super intimidated because the Luca goers are back there. It's great. And Letty says, why do we have to be on the same ship as these Lucans anyway? Lucans? That's a pretty cool word. Sure. Hey, no worries, dude. It's all good fun. Keeper says, ugh, why do I feel like I'm being watched? Dude, I know that feeling. This guy over here says, those herbs I brought in Kilika for seasickness are working great, yeah? So yeah, he's not vomiting anymore. And there's nothing for him to vomit out of, you'll notice here. This is actually a different ship. This is the SS Winnow. Before we were on the SS Licky. So this is a different ship. It's very, very similar in many ways, but it is different. So let's speak to the goers. Hey, I'm all fair game. He said, this guy's called Abbas. He says, looks like our gals are brewing up something back there. I'd be afraid if I were you. So there's two ladies on their team. The first one says, my, you're kind of cute too. Want to have some fun? That line, Jesus. So this girl back here, Dorum, says, hey, that boy in the Aurochs is a cutie. And this one says, my, you're kind of cute too. Want to have some fun? What? Excuse me? Do you want to have some fun? Like, seriously? I mean, that's the kind of line you can put in and a kid wouldn't really care or know. And an adult would be like, oh, some fun, yeah? Let's do it. Which is fantastic. I think you guys will find that's one of the best things about this game. All the double-edged dialogue. So here, look, Donna and Bartello, very close together. I think they're supposed to be sort of hugging, except he's like trying to push us away.
Some people can be so rude.
So, I mean, it's so erotically charged here right now. Some girl asking us to have fun, these two getting it on in the hallway. I don't know whether you can actually speak to Bartello. I mean, I've tried very hard in the past, but yeah. So these two are sort of, he's her guardian. She only has one guardian. And when we first meet her, yeah, I guess she kind of judges us because Yuna does have, like, quite a lot of people with her, right? We're not a guardian, sure. But she's got 3. You know, that's an awful lot more than she's trusted herself with. But I think they sort of set up there a little bit of an item, maybe. It's up to you guys to guess. Hello, Owaka.
They ask a fortune for rags in Besaid and Kilika. Well, me business is in shambles. What's an Owaka to do, I ask ye?
Well, I can give you
Mind
some money.
spotting me some gill again, lad?
Sure. You dirty beggar. Don't worry about it, though. It will come back. So, we gave him 1,000 before. Let's give him 3,000 this time, because we can afford to, I mean, frankly. So, we've now given him 4,000 gil total. No sweat. By the way, when I was younger as well, this is another example of me being an idiot. I used to think that said no sweet. It's just stupid. So there you
Make
go.
it up to ye, that I will.
Sure. Still can't buy anything from him.
I'll make it up to ye.
But there you go. Oh, no, we can buy stuff now. So what do you have, dude? So, potions, phoenix downs, antidotes. We really don't need any of that stuff, so let's ignore it. Right, let's see what's going on over here.
It might not mean much, but good luck in the tournament.
Thank you.
It might not mean much.
Sure. See, now, I'm not going to lie. I like Luzu an awful lot more than I like Gata? Gata? Like, I don't know.
Best to let him sleep.
I'm not sure you guys are going to be able to hear that snoring. If I boost the audio there, it's just going to make the static now is really apparent. So anyway, Luzu Gata, he's kind of sleeping on the job, but whatever. I guess he's tired. He's a lot younger too, right? So, yeah. So don't forget there is a power room. I did not mean to walk up onto the deck. I'm sure we can go back down, and it's totally fine. There is a power room, but I don't know whether we can actually enter it while we're on the SS Winnow. Only on the Licky. Let's see. Is it just going to show us the door and say that it's locked? No, we can go in.
La 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 la.
And apparently this lady, she just likes to sing the same thing all the time. You'll notice the textures on the floor are slightly different, but overall it's the same kind of thing. That text on the left I'm sure can actually be translated, though personally I've never seen anyone do it. There's a fantastic blog, by the way, if you don't want to hear me ramble about it, but I will give you all the information on it. Some guy's done a blog where he's translated like all of the stuff in Spear and Text, Albed, Yevon script. It's amazing, like so much cool information. Stuff that seems to have been planned for the game but never ended up in is awesome. I've got it all written out, so I will talk about it, but if you want to jump the gun, you guys should totally check out that blog. Just search it on Google, I'm sure it'll come up. So anyway, here's this guy. Oh, well, I didn't mean to come up here, but there we go.
Take responsibility.
Relax, he's bound to know someone in Luca.
And if not?
He could always join a blitz team. Anyhow, it's better than just leaving him in Besaid.
What? Just leaving him in Luca?
What do you want me to do?
Yuna wants to make him a guardian.
Oh, yeah, jeez. There's that too, eh?
And whose fault is that?
Not mine. It is mine, huh?
Poor whacker. I didn't mean to go up there. I love those little conversations. There's actually loads we can have. I'm not going to do it just yet, though. I guess because we did that, though, now all the people who were originally harassing Yuna on the ship have now moved away. She was being harassed by the Aurochs and stuff. There's a guy over here as well, right? And he's actually reacting to our movement. I'm trying to talk to him, but you can't. This guy is a sphere recorder. I'm going to just take a second to talk to you guys about that. Here, basically, what he's holding is a camera. Like, Machina is sort of forbidden, but there are these specific people who can use the power of spheres, right? Like, spheres is a big theme. The sphere grid, the spheres in the cloisters of trials, the fireflies even are like spheres. So there's an idea in this game, in this world, where there's this technology where you can shoot footage of people using spheres. And that's actually what this guy here is doing. You don't see it much in this game, but in the sequel, one of the most important main characters in the entire game was once a sphere recorder, just as this guy here is. So, you know, it's pretty cool. It's one of those weird professions you don't see much about, but yeah. Alright, so the Aurochs, let's have a quick chat. He says, looks like the talking's still getting to you. Take it easy and go to bed early, yeah? What are you trying to say? Just because we don't know stuff still? Letty says, Wacker is busy right now. Maybe you shouldn't bother him. Oh, we will. Jastu says, oh, we can finally relax now that the goers are down in the cabin. Oh, right, because they came up. I guess they weren't harassing Yuna. They just came up. Yeah, interesting. Alright, so there's lots of conversations we can hear between Lulu and Wacker. I guess that's just what we'll do first. They were talking about us, so, I mean, I'm immensely curious what they have to say. They're just going to leave us and Luca?
Why do you think she wants to make him a guardian anyway?
Because he's Sir Jecht's son.
All right. Wait, you sure about that? He's really Sir Jecht's son?
It's hard to say, but Yuna seems to believe so.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's all you have to say?
Well, yeah, I mean, he's got to decide for himself, yeah? Well, him and Yuna, I guess.
You're right, for once. I wonder which is best.
Man, I love this. There's not one thing there's not enough in this game is where you just listen to two different characters just chatting to each other and seeing what their like dynamics are like in conversation. Most of the time it's like muted out when they're talking to each other and you can't hear. This is really cool.
Why don't you tell him he should?
Should what?
Become Yuna's guardian.
Why me?
Because Yuna can't.
Why not?
He hates his father. What he was, what he did. Do you really think she can possibly say to him, I want you to be my guardian, like your father was to mine?
And you're being oversensitive. All right, all right. I'll try talking to him after the tournament.
Be discreet.
I know. It's his decision.
Interesting. So, what happens if we play in the tournament? People do recognize us. Maybe we realize, you know, that it was the toxin and we see someone we know. And then Wacker comes up to us and says, do you want to be a guardian? You know, go back to our old life or be a guardian. What does Titus pick?
He doesn't like his father.
Apparently, he told Yuna as much.
Hating your own father, huh? Sounds like a luxury to me. I don't even remember my parents. Can't say how I feel about them.
I was 5 then, so I remember mine a little.
Damn it! Sin just takes everything away from us.
So, both their parents have croaked. And finally, when we come up, there's no more cutscenes. We can actually have a chat. So, I want to go speak to Wacker.
Go to bed, bud. Tournament starts tomorrow morning.
Now, one thing, funnily enough, Lulu, it's very easy in this game with affection mechanics to make Lulu just absolutely love you, even though she's basically the most cold and distant character. Just the way that the game works with characters split up everywhere, usually Lulu's really close, and players would just speak to her first, because, you know, they're just doing it in order, they're not thinking about anything else. So it's really easy to make Lulu like you a lot.
I'm sorry. I need some time to think.
So I'm going to try and not do that.
I'm sorry.
And it's like I say, story-wise, she's the most distant, right?
Go to bed, bud.
Sure, neither of them have any different dialogue.
Someone's bound to recognize you when they see your moves out there, huh?
Hey, thanks, man.
Go to bed, bud.
Okay, it didn't change. I'm so meticulous with this kind of stuff. You guys should have seen me play Mass Effect. It was so bad. This guy says, the Aurochs are the team to watch this year. They say they got a blitzer from Zanarkand on their team. Oh, come on. You actually believe that rumor? Ha, no way. I only meant it would be fun to watch. It sounds like he just flip-flopped on his opinion because she disagreed. You gotta stand by your opinion, man. Stick to your guns. All right, hey Yuna.
I do believe your Xanarkand exists. I really do, you know?
It's funny, I feel like most of the time when everyone's split up and you speak to Yuna, something significant happens. But here, no, she's just a character.
I do believe your
No worries. Alright, that's it. That's the last time. I'm not speaking to Kamari anymore. Screw that guy. So, there is something cool here in the captain's cabin. And that would be your next Albed Primer. Don't miss it. It's not as easy to miss as the one in the Chocobo area. At least you can see this one on the previous boat. There you go, that's Albed Primer 5. A is equal to E. No worries. And this guy says, we have 2 summoners and the goers on board. It's my responsibility to carry them safely to their destination. See, here's a weird thing, right? Previously, the guys on the ship, running the ship, were happy to sacrifice the boat and kill themselves just for a mere chance of protecting Kilika. And the plan failed, but they did try and harpoon it, right? And then it got ripped out. Would they do the same thing this time if Sin appeared? Because of all these people on board? No offense, but I'm a diehard Luca Goers fan. Good luck, pal. You're going to need it. Hey, no worries. Maybe you're better off asking the Goers to coach you. Ha! Yeah, that's not going to happen, is it? It's like the public interpretation of what their celebrities are like, and then they turn out to be actual assholes. What, the Besaid Aurochs? They're more like cargo. I don't remember that line. That's amazing. What an asshole. Jeez. They are pretty bad at the game, though. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, cool. Right, so before we do anything else, I would recommend, if you've been following me one-to-one, save your game, and I will see you guys on the top of the deck. Okay, so out on the front of the deck here, you'll find a single blitzball on the, just laying there, which you can totally interact with if you like. The stars look really awesome here, by the way. So, let's see what we got. Get some practice in before the big game. Oh man, it's kind of creepy seeing that kid there in the background.
Well, well. Trying to follow in my footsteps, are you? I usually charge for lessons, you know. That shot is done like this.
It's kind of weird that he hates his father and yet does the same thing as him. They both play blitzball.
You can't do it, kid. But don't worry, my boy. You're not the only one. No one else can do it. I'm the best.
Okay, so here we get a mini game that can be really important if you want to do well. So this is the Jecht shot challenge. Memories of that day still haunt Tidus and interfere with his concentration. Try to shake off the memories and successfully perform the Jecht shot. So it says, for example, when a memory appears in the upper left, you would press up, left, and X together at the same time. Then up and X together at the same time, down, and so forth when they appear. So, if they're in the middle, you simply just press X and away you go. So it says, let's try by practicing a little, press the buttons following the on-screen instructions. I'm a little bit worried here because I want to explain something before we go. So up and right, and then left and X, and then down, and so on. So did you get the hang of it? Now for the real thing. Now, this is something you can mess up. You only get one opportunity for it. This is why I went down to save. If you mess this up, it's not the end of the world. The story will take a slight twist, but nothing massive, just here on the boat. And it means you miss out on an ability for Tidus while playing Blitzball. So I'll reveal something to you guys. You might think that the story is canned. There's this big tournament coming up, right? Whether you do well or not in that tournament is not 100%. It's not like, oh, they wrote out, hey, the Aurochs win the tournament or anything like that. You actually have to play, and how well you do is based on how well you did as a player, right? So you can totally let everyone down if you do badly. All these promises you've been making to Waka, the whole point of going to Luca, you can let people down. This mini-game here will unlock a really powerful ability for you that makes your time much easier in Blitzball later. So, try and get it the first time, and it's by completing this mini game we're going to try and shake away the bad memories of Jecht. My tip for you guys, if you're going to do this, just keep mashing the X button and then use the analog stick as much as you can in the different directions, and you should be fine. So we will try. You only get a very short period of time to do it. If I fail, we'll watch the cutscene, I'll soft reset, and then we watch the successful cutscene. But let's do it. So, show Jecht what you can do.
You're out of your league. Can't do that.
So, as you can see, I'm sort of just flying through them all at the moment, and I'm just trying to...
You're out of your league. Can't do it, kid.
I don't know whether I got that or not. I don't know whether I got it or not. Yes, I did get it. There you go. You've earned the Trophy Striker. I really struggled with that when I was younger, but that tips, hammering X, makes it easy.
The best? Yeah, right. Huh?
Whoa! What's that called?
Doesn't have a name. Anyone can do it if they try.
Show us one more time, yeah?
One of the funniest things in the game is in the background in a second, by the way. Just watch the Aurochs, okay? Oh yeah, we impressed the girl. Nothing quite like that. Okay, so the Aurochs go off to try and practice doing this. You see Dato there spinning around, being a nonce. Really, there's...
I knew it! I knew you were something special!
Yeah, no worries, dude. So that's the Jecht shot. He says, I gotta tell Bodder and Keeper all about that shot you just did. They'll be so mad when they find out what they missed. Yeah, because they're not all here. That's pretty cool, actually. And Letty says, is Dato alright? It's right before the big game and all. Yeah, don't hurt yourself, dude. Alright, let's go speak to Yuna.
That was the Jecht shot, wasn't it?
How do you know that?
Sir Jecht showed it to me when I was a child. He called it the Sublimely Magnificent Jecht Shot Mark III.
Huh. Stupid name, huh? You know what? There is no Mark I or Mark II, you know? My old man said the name Mark III was just something to hook the crowd. He said they'd come back every night expecting to see Mark I and Mark II. And they really did come back. I used to get so mad. Is he alive, you think?
I don't know. But Sir Jecht was my father's guardian.
So he's famous here, too?
Yes. So, if anything happened to him, I should think word would get around fast.
Uh-huh.
What would you do if you found him?
Who knows? I thought he died 10 years ago. Well... I'd probably just smack him one. After everything he put Mom and me through. And because he was famous, I was always... Well, you should know, Yuna.
Hmm?
Your father's famous too. Everyone in Spira knows him, right?
Hmm.
Ain't it tough?
It is hard to follow in his footsteps as a summoner.
Sure.
But the honor of having a father like him surpasses all that, I think.
Well, there wasn't much to honor about my old man, that's for sure.
You shouldn't say that about your father.
I got the right.
I guess you do.
Ow!
Show me that move again!
Yo! I didn't think my old man would come to Luca. He never did like watching other people play. But I couldn't help feeling something bad was gonna happen. And these feelings of mine are usually right. Sure, I had told Waka I'd help him win the tournament, but I wasn't sure I had it in me to play at all anymore.
Oh, here we go. Here's the snoozing bit. Those sleep sections. Gotta have that sound effect of the snoring. Alright, so we get another opportunity here to save our game. You know, shit's going down whenever you get one of these moments. And yeah, so that's the Jecht shot. Funnily enough, in the mechanics of the game, later on, you can unlock the Jecht shot 2. And I believe in the sequel, there's some stuff to do with the Jecht shot as well. But so yeah, we'll save it there and get a very cool cutscene as we reach Luca.